Good morning. In the last class, we have just seen this multi-cat class. Okay, that means, for example, in your code, if you have more than one exception, okay, for that we will write one try block. Okay, whatever the code that is like raising exception, that code we are keeping inside try block. Okay, based on your exceptions, you are going to write your catch block. Okay, you are going to handle those exceptions inside catch block. Okay, here you are writing multiple catch blocks. For each exception, you are writing one catch block. If you observe in this particular syntax, okay, inside this try block, inside this try block, you have written some statements. Okay, these statements are raising more than one exception. Okay, if it is one exception, you are simply writing one catch block. Based on your exception, you are handling that code. Okay, in this try block, it is raising more than one exception. So that we have written based on your exception. For each exception, you have written one catch block. Okay, for integer exception, you have written one catch block. For like double type exception, you have written one catch block. The same way for character type also you have written one like sorry. Any doubt? Okay. See, for each exception, you are simply writing one catch block so that you are able to handle the exceptions by using these multiple catch blocks. Okay, this is possible. But if you consider for one try block, see, for one try block, you can write multiple catch blocks, but you cannot write multiple try blocks, okay, for one catch block. Okay, that is reverse is not possible. Okay, see, suppose in your code, in your try block, see, in your try block, uh, it is raising more than one exception. Suppose you are not written for one particular exception, okay, for catch block. For that particular exception, you are not written any catch block, so that it is going to end like it is going to stop your execution in middle of your program. Okay. For that, what we can do, we have one another concept, that is handling multiple like catching all exceptions. Okay, we have one concept called like catching all exceptions. See, by using this thing, you can handle like exception that you have not written catch block. Okay, so in the previous example, you have written for each exception, you have written one catch block, right? For integer exception, one catch block. Okay, for double type exception, one catch block. For character type exception, one catch block. For example, in your try block, it is raising some other exception. Either it may be floating type, either it may be some unknown exception it is raising. In that case, for that particular exception, you are not written any catch block. In that case, what happens? Your program is going to like stop your execution. Okay, it is not going to execute complete program. Okay, for that case, what we can do? We have the like one catch block that can handle all the exceptions. Okay, it can catch all the exceptions from your try block. That is simple catch three dots here. Okay, this is the catch block which can handle all exceptions. Okay, suppose if you are not mentioning the type of exception, in this case you can directly go with this particular catch block. This catch block is responsible to handle the all the exceptions. Okay, whatever the exception that you have like in your try block. Okay, if you have the catch block, means the respected catch block only is going to execute it. For example, if you don't have that catch block, to like handle that particular exception, in that case directly, this is just like default catch block. Okay, you have the concept, right? For example, in switch case also, there is no catch, there is no case found, directly it will execute default case. Okay, the same way here also, if there is no catch block for that particular exception, in that case it is going to execute this catch block. Okay, this is going to handle all the exceptions. It is going to catch all the exceptions by using this particular catch block. Okay, let's quickly we'll see example how we can write multiple catch blocks. We already seen for one try block, one catch block we have already seen. Okay, for each try block, for one try block, one catch block. Okay, means how you are able to handle that particular situation by using catch block we have seen, right? The same way we'll see this particular inside the try block, we will raise some multiple exceptions. Okay, we will throw multiple exceptions. Okay, those exceptions we can like catch by using multiple catch blocks. Okay, so that how you are able to handling the situation we will see. Okay. I think yesterday we have seen this example. Just go through it once. Okay, simple. Inside main, I have one variable x. Okay, and then first statement. Okay, for your flow of execution, I just written one cout statement. This is first statement in your program. Okay, then it is going to ask your x value. That x value you are storing inside x. So whatever the value that user entered, that is just simply storing inside this particular x. Then you are going to raise multiple exceptions here. In the previous case, we have raised only one exception. Okay, here there is a chance to raise multiple exceptions. How you can handle those exceptions? Okay, by using multiple catch blocks here. Suppose if that x equals to 1, okay, whatever the user enters, x value is 1, I'm just throwing x. Okay, x value integer type, right? X equals to 1. Okay, I'm just throwing x here. Okay, throw is a keyword used to throw the exception from the try block. Okay, throw is a keyword used to throw the exception from the try block. Okay, it will take one parameter, either it may be integer, either it may be like float, double, char, or any object also. Okay, see, like this. It is a variable I'm just sending, means it is integer type value. I'm just throwing. The same way, if x equals to 2, I'm just throwing character type exception. Okay, if x equals to 3, I'm just throwing a double type. Okay, double type exception. Now, the thing is, inside this try block, we have multiple exceptions. One is integer type, one is character type, one is double type. For these exceptions, how you can handle? Okay, for integer type, you just written one catch block. Okay, you can see inside catch block, this is expecting integer type exception. Okay, int ex means it is a variable which is going to hold the value that exception which you are throwing from your try block. Okay, this x value is going to store inside ex, and inside this catch block you are simply handling the situation. Okay, your program is not going to end in middle. You are going to handle the situation by using this catch block. Okay, you are simply giving the message to the user, this is integer type exception. Okay, you are raising because of you have entered 1. Okay, here it is raising integer type exception. The same way the user enters like x value is 2, you are raising character type exception. Okay, this particular catch block is going to like catch block is going to execute it. For example, here you are raising double type, right? Let's see, I'm just handling only these two. What happens in this case? Let's see. First statement, it is going to print, and if I enter 1, integer type exception is going to raise. If I enter 2, character type exception is going to print, and the last statement also is going to print. Suppose if I enter x value 3, what happens? Let's see. Okay. See, in the first case, I will enter x value is 1, means integer type exception. You can see this is first statement is printed and it is asking x value. If I enter x value is 1, you can see integer type exception. You are throwing integer type exception, right? For that, expected catch block, integer type, you are handling integer type exception here. Okay, this catch block is going to execute it and the last statement. Okay, in the second case, I will go with 2, x value is 2. If I enter x value 2, you can see character type exception and the last statement is printed. That means if the x value 2, you are raising character type. Okay, which catch block is executed now? This particular one. Okay, character related. Now, in the next case, what I will do, I'm going to enter x value is 3. You can see now, just observe the difference. See, terminate call after throwing an instance of double. Okay, your program, because of it is raising one exception, okay, that is of type double type exception. For double type exception, there is no catch block in your code. In that case, your program is going to exit in middle of your execution. You can see it is not printing the last statement. Okay, in middle of your program only, your program stopped execution. It is not like executing complete program. In that case, what we can do, we can simply write one more catch block for double also. Okay, you can handle that situation. Here I will take some D. This is double type exception. Now you can see in this case, I will enter 3 here. Now you can see double type exception is like catch block is executed and the last statement also executed. In this way, you can handle multiple exceptions, okay, by writing multiple catch blocks here. Okay, clear, right? For each exception, you need to write one catch block, okay, so that you can handle that a particular exception. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Simple. First, know the concept, how you are handling the situation. For one exception, one catch block you are writing. But in this case, you are going to handle multiple exceptions. Okay. Different types of exception you are handling. For each exception, you are going to write one catch block. Okay. That catch block is responsible for to handle that particular exception. Okay. Like this you can write. The next case is handling all the exceptions. For example, in the previous case, I'm not handled this particular double type exception. I'm just removed that thing. Okay. If I execute this code, you can see now, if I enter the 3, it is your program is stopping in middle of your execution. That means for that particular double, you are not like handle the situation. So that you can write one catch block and you can like handle that situation. For example, we don't know which exception that like particular try block is throwing. Okay, in that case, what we can do, we have one default catch block is there that can like catch all types of exceptions. Okay, which can handle all types of exception. Simply, you can write like this: catch 3 dots. Okay, this is the like you can say, which can handle all exceptions which is raised inside try block. Okay, here simply I'm just writing one simple statement here. See, if your respected particular exception is, for example, in this case, it is raising integer type exception. You have that catch block which is handling integer type exceptions means directly it will execute this thing, this particular like catch block only. For example, there is no catch block for that particular exception. In that case, this catch block is going to execute it. Default catch block is going to execute it, which is going to handle all the exceptions, okay, inside, which is going to cart all the exceptions inside this catch block. Okay, now you can see for double, I have not written any like catch block. I just written this default catch block. You can see how the default catch block is going to execute. See, if you are modifying your some statements in your program, means you must compile your program once again. Don't go for execution directly. If you are changing something, means you must compile your code. See, after compilation only, you should go for run. Okay. Now you can. First statement is printed. Now directly I am going to card number x value 3. For x value 3, it is raising double type exception actually. But there is no catch block for double type exception. Okay, I have written one catch block which is going to handle all the exceptions. Now you can see handling all exceptions inside this catch. Okay, which catch block executed now? This particular one. Okay, which is responsible to handle the all the exceptions. Okay, clear, right? Any confusion here? Okay, that is handling all the exceptions and multiple catch blocks for one try block. Okay, the next concept is rethrowing exception. Okay, rethrowing exception. Simple concept. For example, you have try block here. Okay, like inside try block, you are writing some statements, right? Okay, you are writing some statements. Here, statements means some risky code you are writing. Those statements are going to raise some exceptions. Okay, if the exception is raised, what we are doing, you are simply writing this throw keyword. Okay, throw keyword, and you are raising that exception. Okay, simple. For example, here I'm just raising some integer type or character type. This is the character, right? Single quote means character. Okay, which is going to throw the exception. That exception you are handling by using catch block. This is the situation. This is the exception handling case. See, what is this rethrowing mean? Once you are throwing the like exception from your try block, which is going to like caught by catch block. Okay, from here you are going to cart that exception, and you are handling that situation inside this like particular catch block. Okay. Coming to this rethrowing means, in rethrowing exception case, what we will do, in this particular catch block, you are not going to handle that situation. You are just simply throw from this particular catch block. Actually, in nested try block case, for example, here you have one try. Okay, inside this try block, you have one more try and catch. Okay, here try block is going to end. This is the outer try. Okay? This one is the outer try. Inside this try block, we have this particular try and catch block. Okay. See, for this outer try, you have one more catch block. This is the try. Okay, this is the inner try. Suppose you have the situation like inside one try block, you are handling, you have one more case, try and catch. So this is a like catch block, sorry, try block. In this try block, for this try block, I am just handling, writing one catch block, that is in the some ex value. See, rethrowing exception means in rethrowing exception, uh, in nested try block case. Okay, in nested try block case, what happens? You are not going to handle the exception inside the catch block here. Inside the catch block, here, inside the catch block, you are not handling the situation. Simply you are rethrowing the exception from the particular catch block. Okay, if I use this throw keyword inside this catch block, what happens? This particular exception is going to come out from this particular catch block and it is going to cause in outer catch block. Okay, from inner catch block, you are just rethrowing the exception. Okay, inside, this is the inner try block, right? This one is the inner try block. Okay, this is the outer try block. Nested try block means inside try block you are going to write one more try block. Okay, simple try. This is the try block. Inside this try block you are going to write one more try block. Okay, here you are writing some statements. For this inner try block you have the catch block. Okay, here you are writing some situation. Okay, for this outer try block also you have the catch block. Okay, here you are handling the situation. See what happens. For example, once you are entering into this inner try block, here some exception is raised. Here you are throwing that exception X like this. Okay, this exception is going to caught by this catch block, right? Inner catch block. Inside this catch block, actually you need to handle a situation. But in rethrowing case, what we will do, we are going to throw the exception from inner. You are going to simply rethrowing that exception from inner catch block. Just simply you are using throw keyword here. Simply you are using throw keyword. What happens in this case? From this inner catch block, this exception is going to caught by outer catch block. Outer catch block is responsible to handling that particular exception. In this way, you can, instead of handling the code, you can simply rethrow that particular exception from your inner catch block. Okay, this concept you can say it is rethrowing exception in C++. Okay, you are not going to handle the situation inside your inner catch block. You are simply rethrowing by using throw keyword. You are simply rethrowing that exception to the outer catch block. Okay, this concept you can say it is rethrowing exception in C++. Okay, we will see one example how it is going to happen. Let's see. The rethrowing exception is possible where we have an inner and outer try-catch statement. Means nested try-catch case, you can rethrow your exception. An exception to be thrown from inner catch block to outer catch block is called rethrowing exception. Okay, from inner try block, from inner catch block to outer catch block, you are rethrowing the exception. Okay, outer catch block is like catches that exception and it is going to handle the situation. So that is called rethrowing the exception. You can see the syntax, the same thing. This is the try block, and for this try block, you have the catch block here. But inside this try block, you have one more try catch block, means inner try catch. This is the inner block, and this is the outer block. Inside this try block, you have try and the catch. Inside try, you are like you have one exception like some integer type or some other data type. Okay, this exception, once you are raising that exception using throw keyword, what happens? A respected catch block is going to handle that situation in general case. Okay, if the try, if the exception is raised in try block, that exception is going to catch by the catch block. Okay, inside catch block you are going to handle situation, but in rethrowing case what happens, you are not going to handle the situation inside this inner catch block. You are simply rethrowing the exception. Rethrowing the exception means just simply you are using throw keyword like this. That exception is going to thrown to the outer catch block. Okay, from inner catch block to outer catch block, your exception is going to transfer. Now, this outer catch block is responsible to handle that particular exception. In this way, you can rethrow your exception. Okay, rethrowing means simple. From inner catch block to, you are going to throwing that exception to outer catch block. Now, outer catch block is responsible to handle that particular exception. Okay, simple. See, this is the, for example, int a equals to 1. Okay, like try block is there. This is the outer try. Okay, inside this try, you have try and catch. Okay, inside this try, what you are doing, simply you are throwing it. Means a value integer type, right? That particular exception you are simply, you need to, that exception is going to caught by this particular catch block. But inside this catch block, what you are doing, you are not handling the situation. You are simply throwing that x value. Okay, a value means 1. That 1 is stored now in end. Same, from this catch block, you are simply throwing that x. Okay, that is going to caught by outer catch block. This is the outer catch block, which can caught by the inner catch block. Okay? That exception you are handling inside this outer catch block. Okay, I will just show one particular example. So let's see. In compiler, it is very clear. Try to work one example. So, I'm just writing this inner try block and outer try block. See, simple. For outer try block, I am just writing one catch block. In the same way, inner try block also, I am just writing like one catch block. This is rethrowing, right? if x equals to 2, I will just throw one character exception. I will just throw. For this thing, I'm just writing one catch block. Catch. I'm not going to handle the situation. I'm just simply throwing the like particular exception. Okay. Simple thing. Just observe. Same, whatever the example that we have taken the previous, the same thing I have taken, but here I'm just using this rethrowing concept. Okay, in rethrowing concept, what happens? Inner try block uh, is going to raise some exception that is going to caught by the inner catch block itself. Okay, but in rethrowing case, what happens? Instead of handling the situation inside the catch block, you are simply throwing that particular exception to the outer catch block. Now, outer catch block is responsible for to handle the situation. How it is going to execute? Let's see. So I'm just saving this file. Okay, compile your code. If there is any error or not, expected before catch. Actually, it is not the catch here. Char. Character type, right? Data type you need to mention inside this catch block. And compile it again. Here it is compiled successfully. Okay. See, observe the output here. How this code is going to execute it. See, if I enter x value equals to 1, you are throwing x. X means integer value that you are like handling by using inner try block, sorry, inner catch block. Okay. See, if I enter 1, you can see caught inside inner catch block and the last statement is executed. Okay, simple thing. You are throwing x means integer value. This inner catch try block is going to execute it. Inner like catch block is going to execute it, and it is going to handle the situation. Now, in the second case, what I will do, I will enter x value is 2. X value is 2. Now you can see. X value is 2 means you are raising character type exception. This character type exception is how the catch block inside your try block. Okay. See, now inside this try block, catch block, you are not handling the code. You are simply throwing that exception. Okay, this particular thing is called rethrowing exception. How it is? Just see this output now. Caught inside outer catch block. Exception is handled outside the inner, like outside the, like outside catch block, not inside catch block. Here you are handling outside the catch block. Means this the major concept here is rethrowing. You are rethrowing here. See, simply instead of handling the situation, you are rethrowing the exception. See, actually, here it is raising, like in the first case, it is raising integer type exception. Okay. In the second case, it is raising character type exception. For character type exception, you are not handling inside the inner try block. Okay. Inside the inner try block, you are not handling. You are handling the, instead of handling, you are simply rethrowing the exception. See, actually, in this, if the x value equals to 2, you are raising the exception is character type exception. Okay. For that character type exception, you have the catch block here. Okay. In this catch block, you can handle the situation, but my concept is rethrowing the exception. Rethrowing the exception means instead of handling the situation here, you are simply throwing that particular exception from that catch block. If you are like throwing like that, what happens? from inner catch block to outer catch block, that exception is going to transfer. Now you can see. Observe here. One second. Now see. Actual thing is this particular catch block is responsible to handle the situation. Okay, but actually this is the catch block is responsible to handle the particular character type exception, this case. But you are not handling the situation here. What you are doing, simply you are rethrowing the exception by using this particular simple statement, throw keyword. Okay, by using throw keyword, you are simply handling the situation. Okay, what happens if I use the throw keyword like this? From this particular catch class, is the catch class, inner catch class. Okay, this is the outer one. Not this, up to here only. This is the inner one, and this one is the outer one. See, if the exception is raised inner try block, that is character type exception, that exception you need to handle by using this catch block actually. Okay, this catch block is responsible for to handle the situation, but you are not handling the exception here. Simply what you are doing, you are rethrowing that exception. Okay, rethrowing means instead of handling, you are simply throwing that from that catch block. If you are rethrowing that exception like that, what happens? That exception is going to caught by the outer catch block here. Okay, from inner catch block to outer catch block, that exception is going to transfer. Now outer catch block is responsible for handle that particular situation. The same thing you are seeing here, right? The output also.
సీజర్ దొరకలేదమ్మా సీజర్
Saket, what happened? See, the same thing, whatever we have seen, you can see in the output screen as well. Okay. Suppose if the x value, if I enter 2 here, it is going to raise character type exception. That character type exception, you are not handling inner catch block. You are simply rethrowing that exception. That exception is going to caught by the outer exception. Now you can see the message, whatever the message you have written here, that message you can see in the output screen. Okay. See, caught inside outer catch block. Okay, you're not handling inside a particular catch block. You are just simply handling the situation by using outer catch block. In this way, you can, your particular exception is going to transfer from inner to outer. Saket, what happened? Any doubt here? Okay. See, this is about rethrowing the exception from inner catch block to outer catch block. Clear this thing? Is it clear how you are rethrowing the exception?
Yes, sir.
Simple. Instead of handling the situation, you are simply using the throw keyword inside inner catch block. Okay, that exception is going to rethrown to the outer catch block. Okay, that is the way. This one more concept here, we can restrict the one function. Okay, actually in function case we have seen we have not seen this try catch, how you can handle the situation, right? Even like functions also. Directly inside main function only, we are writing this try and catch block. Okay. This try block inside the main function only, you are using this try this exception handling thing. But even in functions also, you can use that situation. You can handle the like exception handling by using this try and catch. Okay. We'll see one example how you can handle in functions. For example, what can I do? I will just take this entire thing. We'll write one program. Okay. I will remove entire thing. See, I'm just taking one function, that is a div function, means division. Okay. It is I'm not taking any input from here. Simple. What I will do, I will declare two variables here, x comma y, and then result I will store in z. Okay. Z equals to I'll just say x by y. Same that division case only I'm taking here. To see out, division equals to z I will take. Result is in z, right? And this painting that is z in the output. Okay. See how to use this function. Can anyone say this procedure? Here you need to take the inputs, right? Enter two numbers. Right? Okay. You just read into x and y, and you are finding the division, and you are simply printing in the output. Okay. See, is this if I save this code, okay, div.cpp. If I save this file program, what is the output we can say here? Can anyone say? If I compile this code, you won't see any error. You can see if I compile this code, you are seeing 0 errors. If I go for a run, what happens? Can anyone? Anyone expecting this output? See, this is a function, right? User-defined function. Okay, you have written user-defined function inside your program, but actual execution starts from your main. Okay, if you want to use this particular function, what you need to do? Can anyone? These are the basic fundamentals. Can anyone say how you can use that particular function? Are you getting my point? Early morning.
Sir, can you repeat again?
See, you have one user-defined function is there here. Okay, you have some code. Functions means group of statements are going to do some task, right? Okay, the same thing I have written. Some group of statements. These statements are going to do some division task. Okay, see, you are dividing your program into multiple like smaller tasks. Okay, each task you are giving one name, and that name you are calling it as function. Here I have the function div function. Okay, I have written inside my program. Okay, I have the main function also. Actual execution starts from here only. Okay, so if I want to use this particular function, okay, what I need to do here now?
Sir,
Yes.
sir,
Tell me.
Sir, we should take something, float something we should take, then we should like float result, then we should give result equals to Z.
Result equals to Z. Okay, that is also that is means you are saying inside is D function. But I want to use this function, but if I compile and run, it is not giving any output. You are not actually it has to ask two numbers, enter two numbers, then we will enter two numbers, then it will find the division and it is going to print the division in the output screen. That is the thing. But I'm not seeing anything in the output screen. Why?
Sir, you need to create anything like object or something like that.
See, you have written one function means you must call that function, right? Inside main, is there any function call? No, right? No function call is there inside main. How you can call that function? If you are not understanding this function concept, how you can go with that class concept? Class concept is different. Okay, in class we are going to write member function. These are the normal functions only, normal user-defined functions. User-defined function means simply you can give by using function name div. This is the way you can call your user-defined function. Okay, by using function name, you can simply call the function by using name. Okay, now you can see in the output field, it is asking enter two numbers. Execution starts from the main, right? Okay, but inside main in the previous you have not written anything. Okay, but you have the user defined function, but you are not using that. If you want to use that function, simply call that function. For example, if I have given one task to your one friend, for example, I have given to collect some money for some program. I have given to some rule number 530. He is going to collect the money. If I give the work, then only he will give the return, right? He will give the output. Yeah, I'm just saying, just collect the money, then only he will collect the money. The same thing here also. If you are calling that particular function, then only the function is going to execute it. Without calling that function, how the function is going to execute it? This main function also is called by the compiler. Compiler is responsible to call the main function. Okay. After that, after calling the main function, as a programmer, you need to call your function. Compiler don't know about your particular function. If you are writing some user-defined functions, means user has to call those functions and he has to use those functions. Okay, to call your user-defined function, we have the like simple syntax, simple by using function name parenthesis. If it is this function is expecting any parameters, those parameters you need to pass while calling that particular function. Okay, but this d function not expecting any like parameters here, simply you are calling that function. Okay, then here the concept is not the calling function. We are going to handling the situation. Okay, we are going to handling the exception. Okay, see, now it is asking the x values, right? X value, two values it is asking. We need to enter two values, right? You can see. We need to enter two values. First number I am entering 12, second number 3. You can see the division 4. Okay. What happens in the next case? What I am doing? If I enter the second value is 0, 12, 0. You can see the program is like not executing properly. Okay, abnormally your program is going to terminate it. Okay, this is called exception, right? It is unwanted situation. You don't know. While, for example, yeah, this is Madhulata. Okay. See, for example, you are riding your bike. Example, consider a simple example. You are riding your bike. Okay. After traveling some 2-3 kilometers, sudden accident is occurred. What happened? You are not expected that situation, right? Okay, such situation you can, in programming language, you can say like exception, runtime exception. Okay. The same thing. If I enter that second value is 0 here, because of that second value is 0, means you are not, in mathematical world, you cannot divide any number by 0. That is the situation here is, it is occurred, and your program is going to terminate abnormally. Okay. Such situations we are handling by using exception handling mechanism. Okay, by using try and catch block. Okay, you are giving proper like execution flow to your program. If the exception is occurred also, you are not stopping your execution. You are handling some situation and you are executing your entire program. Okay, for this thing also we can write try and catch block inside this particular main function, sorry, user defined function, and you can handle the situation. For example, here inside this particular function, instead of handling, you can throw the exception. If you are throwing from your user defined function, that can be caught inside the main function. That we will see in that example. Extra we need to add handling mechanism, try catch block here. Okay, that we will see in the next class. We have two more concepts. That is one more is inside in fifth unit. We have like specifying exception, and the second one is stack unwinding, and one more exception object. We will see benefits of exception handling also. Fourth one. Okay, these are the topics left. Maybe tomorrow or by day after tomorrow we will complete this entire 15. Okay. Tomorrow maximum these three concepts will complete. We'll see exception handling, like benefits of exception handling, and then I will revise in class. Okay. Right, tomorrow will complete. Like I will 10 minutes, and then after I will, so that we can complete minimum number of like 15 marks from your 15 unit. Okay. From next week we will start the 4th unit. By 13th we will complete that. Okay, that is my like agenda. Okay, I think we. Okay, we'll meet in the next class.